Am I already fucking live? What the fuck? I did not click go live. Did I? Hello, hello. Open this. You guys can see my screen? Okay, I am live. Thanks, Bookie. What's going on, guys? 1 second. Okay, let's just start it up. We got a lot of charts to go over today. We didn't do much today. There's a reason we didn't do much. I kept saying on Monday that Wednesday we could go either way. Holy, this guy Dusty been killing the game. Sold Arvel 0.2 to 0.65. That's 350%, man. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? We got SPY here, just sideways all day. Nothing really to say. Big dump in the morning, recovered a little bit in the afternoon, kind of closed down a little bit. So obviously you see pre-market highs and lows, we closed below it. That should have been your tell right off the open that we were going to have a weak day. Like right here, right? The first 5-minute candle, we broke the pre-market low. That should have told us all day. And look, we retested it here, didn't get back in. Retested it here, didn't get back in. Retested it here, didn't get back in. And at the end of the day, we almost retested it again. Built up a bunch of volume here. I already said what up to them, Ilya, you negative Nancy. And yeah, so we couldn't get back into the pre-market range. That's why I say every morning when you wake up, put on the extended hours. These are two simple lines and they can help you a lot. I read everything, Mike. Don't worry. I read everything. So you see YouTube here. I mean, this morning I told you these are the simplest levels you can have. Obviously, there's a lot more advanced lines and levels you can put on, but just for right now, just focus on these pre-market highs, pre-market lows. And we couldn't get back into the range on SPY. There's nothing else to say here. Tech was weak today and XLF was strong. So let's take a look. In the bigger picture here on SPY, there's literally nothing wrong with it at all. We're still almost at all-time highs. I mean, people were crying today about the market dumping. We're like still closed with a nice little hammer candle. Still closed right below 425.46 was a high today. 425.37 was a high yesterday. So we still did hit all-time highs at open today, even though we did dump right after. We closed at 424.49, which is $1 off all-time highs. There's nothing really to worry about there. If you guys are looking at 1-minute charts, you're going to be really worried. But if you look at the overall picture, bigger picture, we're completely fine on SPY. QQQ completely fine, took out all-time highs yesterday. Obviously, like I told you guys, when we have a huge day in the market, the next day could be consolidation. There's nothing super bearish about today. There's obviously a huge event tomorrow. I told you guys if I'm thinking about taking off most of my positions, and there's a lot of people thinking the same thing, right? So obviously we still closed above this previous all-time high on QQQ as well. Everything looks fine. If you look intraday, it was pretty ugly. Why is this thing so... Yeah, so if you look intraday right here, we opened, and right off the open, we just dumped. Straight dumped, right? If you just drew those pre-market lines on QQQ and SPY, you would have known that we took out the low of pre-market. This was the low of pre-market right here. I had to close this page because I was doing this little template for you guys. It looks all fancy, right? So if you've seen right off the morning bat, we broke the pre-market lows, which should have been a warning sign right off the bat. And then we took out the previous all-time high, which is this yellow line, and we closed below it. So QQQ is a little more bearish than SPY, and XLF reversed hard today. Yesterday, we know XLF was super weak, and Tech led the way. Today, XLF was strong, and QQQ dumped all day. Another thing to note on XLF, the end of the day dump, when XLF turned, that's when SPY turned. Like I've been telling you guys, when both of them turn, that's when we get the big dump. When QQQ and XLF turn at the same time, that's when we get the big dump on SPY. And that's kind of what happened today. As long as QQQ was dumping, SPY was kind of going sideways, but then XLF started to dump, and that's what this big red candle on SPY came from. So just things to keep an eye on. XLF, make sure you're watching them, QQQ every single day. And don't just think, oh, tech's dumping, so the market's going to dump. It's not like that. If financials are holding up, the market will not dump. We got Apple. We had that huge move yesterday. Obviously, we need some consolidation. Sorry, I'm getting some lag on my charts here. Okay, let me just close. It's already closed, whatever. Yeah, it's already closed. All right, so we got Apple. Huge move yesterday. What do we know about huge moves? We closed above the 50-day moving average. Today, we still closed above the 50-day moving average. Nothing to worry about on Apple yet. Just a day of consolidation. Obviously, a lot of us jump in lottos for these kinds of names. That's why we're a little more worried than most. But if you're long-term, long Apple, there's absolutely nothing to worry about here. Let me just show you a little example. Okay, so look. Right here on May 10th, right? The next day, we closed below the 50-day moving average. We stayed below the 50-day moving average from May 10th all the way to June 14th. So that's a month and 4 days we stayed below it. Last time that we were below it and we closed above it was right here on April 7th. So April 7th, we closed above the 50-day moving average. Leave me alone, J Daddy. Yeah, we closed above it on April 7th, and look, we stayed above the 50-day moving average all the way till May 10th. So every time it crosses over and closes above or below the 50-day moving average, it takes time for Apple to close back the opposite way, is what I'm trying to say. So yesterday we closed above it. I think we have a lot of time still in Apple long. Even look back here, we were below the moving average, right? We closed above the 50-day moving average on Apple on November 5th. We stayed above it all the way till February. So 4 months we stayed above it last time we crossed above the 50-day and stayed above it. So nothing really longer term. There's nothing really to worry about at all. What is this? Viac giving me a headache. I closed a bunch of this morning for 60%. Good luck to you guys that are in the calls that are way more expensive than mine. I hope it turns around for you, but right now it doesn't look like it wants to pop at all. Even Jim Cramer tried to pump it last night. No dice. But obviously, if the market was better today, it could have gone. But the market held back a lot of stuff today. You see the end of the day buying volume here? That's a good sign. Other than that, just sideways. Just had that big dump off with the market this morning and then just completely sideways. I like the volume that came in at the close. Let's see where we open up tomorrow. Hopefully we get a little gap up and go. Got Shopify. Remember guys, always zoom out on your charts. Intraday might have looked bad for a lot of stocks today, but if you zoom out, everything looks completely fine. Like zoom out on Shop. We're still above 1300. 1300 is that must hold level. If this weekly closes above 1300, we will go to 1500 all-time highs without a doubt in my mind. It's just my opinion. I have Airbnb, Ilya. I have it open right there. See it at the top? Yeah, so Shop looks fine. Apple looks fine. Viac looks sideways. All we're waiting for here is just continuation. Everything depends on what he says tomorrow. If he even mentions taper tomorrow, we could be in a lot of trouble in the markets. So everything rests on J Powell right now. Palantir, I told you guys, I do this chart every single day on Palantir. I tell you guys exactly the level that I need to see cleared. I told you exactly why I jumped in Palantir yesterday, because it has a huge move and it's just been flagging and it's just getting ready to try to take out that 2550 level. And if you zoom in intraday, look exactly where we stopped today. Wasn't he asked X date? X date? What do you mean by X date? Palantir right here. So look at exactly. We were running up in the morning. We got rid of our calls for I think 60% or something. I don't remember. But yeah, 2554 was the high of the day for Palantir, and look how bad it rejected from there. I told you guys every single day 2550 is the level. 2550 is the level. As soon as we clear 2550, close above, we should go straight to 2750. And you guys see this right here, super reject from 25.50 and just dump the rest of the day. And then I drew this little wedge. I wanted to see where it went. It just turned out to be a bear flag with follow through to the downside. But the overall, if you zoom out on Palantir, it looks completely fine. I don't see anything wrong with this chart at all. As you guys see here, it just looks like a big bounce. Now it's flagging, letting all the moving averages catch up, and then it should go to the next leg up, which is 27.50, but it needs to take out 25.50 first. X dividend, I'm not sure, I didn't even look into that. So if it was X dividend, it might need a little bit more time to go. A lot of people in this room are in lottos. That's another reason why I jumped out most of my position today. We got FinV here. FinV is a beautiful chart. It's just setting up. Today I don't like that candle on the daily. Looks like a reversal doji. But let's see where it opens up tomorrow. Hourly looks fine. Just higher, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And now we're seeing if this is the higher low again. We have to wait till tomorrow, see if we get continuation, and see if we take out $9.70. If we take out $9.70 tomorrow, this one is well on its way to being a big winner for the group. And the next stop for this one is close above 970. We should go straight to 1060. And if this stock goes above $10, those calls for July should be in the money heavy. We got Mara. Mara didn't exactly close where I wanted it to. Looks like a strong candle. It held the gap up, held yesterday's low. But what we really need to see on Mara is a close above 31.41. It did go up to 31.63, but the close today was at $30.67, so a little bit under the 50-day moving average. Like I said, when stocks close above the 50-day moving average, it's super bullish. So I'm just waiting for that. Okay, and then we got AMC. AMC, I really wanted to see a close above 60 bucks. I'm still in those calls. Why am I still in those calls? Like I sent you Catalyst this weekend. There's so many calls expiring in the money this week for AMC, which means they're going to have to buy shares underlying to protect themselves against those options. Right now, it looks like a beautiful daily breakout. You see this clear wedge here. I didn't draw the bottom line, but here, I'll draw it just for you guys. So clear wedge on the daily, clear wedge on the hourly, clear breakout. Everything's fine. Everything looks good. I know people like to panic on this stock, but for right now, I want to see it close above 60. And if it closes above 60, it should go to all-time highs, which is 72.62. So I'm looking for AMC over 72 by Friday. SLGG is a beautiful chart. I don't think we'll have enough time for those calls that I have, but I might get back in. I showed you guys this one yesterday. It just looks like a beautiful cup, and it's forming the handle. Might need a little more time. That's why I might roll out my 7.5 calls. They might go for a loss, but let's see. No big deal. So that's one thing you guys have to understand. Ricky's gone over this over and over again. If he plays Amazon 10 times and he loses on 8 of them, those 2 times he wins will cover all 8 losses. So just because you lose on a name doesn't mean you shouldn't roll out or you shouldn't do anything. You just have to hit it once and that'll cover your losses, especially on Amazon. Got gold. Gold looks fine. Everything's great. Obviously, the daily, whatever. Let's see what he says tomorrow. Because if he says something stupid tomorrow, gold, silver, metals, inflation, all the inflation stocks, they'll scream. They'll go running. Right now, it looks like it's just bull flagging. You see, it went from $18 all the way up to $25. So a $7 move up, and then it rejected the 50-day moving average, as you see here. Now it's pulling back. And it's actually sitting right at the 21-day moving average, which is 22.82. It closed at 22.79 today. So this is a weekly chart that you're looking at here. It's just bull flagging. So if we see a breakout on gold, it will be because of what he says tomorrow. Let's see what happens. CMLF, obviously ugly action today. I'm not too worried. Tanuj posted all the research. I don't know why you guys ask me about this stock every 2 seconds. Go read his research and then have some conviction in the stock. Like, it doesn't matter if you're down. You guys swear you guys see like negative $10 on your screen and you start asking like 30 questions. You don't have to worry. We have till July. It's a solid company. Just wait. Once it goes, it will really go. It's absolutely nothing wrong with this chart at all. It held the previous lows. This is still the higher low. It's 1165. Today's low is 1169. If it closed below 1165, then you might be in a little bit of trouble. Then you could ask me questions, but I mean, it's still holding the previous low. So CMLF looks fine. Just waiting for that big volume day that's going to come. It always comes. Not worried at all. Yeah. So CMLF just holding. Let's see what happens. BA. I had this resistance drawn out. It looks like it went and touched the resistance exactly today. It goes zoom out a little bit. Jesus. Alright, so here's BA. We got that bull flag going. The clear resistance on top. Right here. Clear support down low. And look where we touched today. Right at the resistance line. 248.50. We need to clear that. 248.50 and 249. Once we clear those, we should see some follow through. Let's see if we get it by the end of the week though. That's another thing with short-term options. Even if you're right on the stock, sometimes they expire worthless and then they go after you're out. So just keep in mind on that. That's why sometimes I take further out options, even though I know the move's coming soon. Let's see if BA can get going. Airbnb, this beautiful chart. Bottoming out. I remember we made a ton on these options. I know a lot of people jumped in with me. We made a ton on them. I took it off my screen. Why did I take off my screen? Because I sold right here. I sold at like 152 and then it needed consolidation, consolidated and went underneath the 21-day moving average. That's why I took it off my screen. But now obviously it just looks like that was a bear flag. I mean a bull flag. And it's breaking out even more now. So this is what I mean by bull flag. You got that huge move. It needed to rest a few days. And then we got this little resistance formed here. Let's see if we see it better on the hourly. Yeah, you just see this straight consolidation. Pretty easy to see. I mean, you could even stretch it out if you want to. Like that. Maybe a little higher right there. So you see that consolidation that had to go through? Because look at this big run that it made. It broke through this resistance, ran straight up, and now it broke through this resistance. So let's see if we can get followed through. One thing I do like is look at all this volume that came in on the break. It's a beautiful volume bar. So Airbnb, the reason I think BV7 said it, it could go all the way to 251 this week, or 157, sorry. Why can it go to 157? This 50-day moving average, this light blue line right here, that's why he said 157, because it's at 157.13, so it's going to be another struggle to get through there. So I think once it gets to 157, it needs to consolidate a little bit, and then it'll try to take out the 50-day moving average if everything goes to plan. ATVI, I'm only going to do ATVI and MNMD because I know you guys love asking about it. It's the same thing with MNMD. I told you, like, these stocks look great. Sometimes we just run out of time. We didn't give enough time to ourselves. ATVI, I just did this chart yesterday. I don't know what you want to see on it. Again, it rejected the resistance here. This is a clear resistance zone between 98.50 and 99.30. This is the resistance zone. And once it gets through 99.30, I expect it to run to all-time highs. But until it closes above this 99.30, there's nothing to see here. If you're already in, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, there's a big red candle today. But the whole market was way down today. So it's not really, you can't really blame that on ATVI. Just keep an eye on a 99.30 close, and that's when I would jump in. MNMD just sideways looks great. We had this big volume burst out right here. So right now it's just consolidating. Everything looks fine. The only thing you should be watching for on MNMD is a cross over $4. So until it crosses over $4, where's $4? Right here, yeah. So once it crosses over $4, it could really start running back to all-time highs, which is 577. But until it closes above $4, it's just going to be in this chop zone. You see all this volume in here? So let's see if the market gets an update tomorrow, which I have no idea. We'll go over scenarios right after that, so I'm not going to do any more charts from you guys. We got Neo right here. Looks fine. Look at this nice breakout. This is a weekly breakout, and now it's just forming a broadening wedge here. So yeah, so we have this weekly wedge, right? Very nice breakout, very good volume, whatever. It's just been up and up for 3 weeks straight now. The only thing about it is the daily is a little bit overbought, so we might need a little tiny bit of consolidation. But with the amount of news and flow that's coming into NEO, I don't think it'll break below this wedge. The wedge looks like it's right underneath right here, if you guys see. Just draw this little wedge here with all the supports and resistances, and it should stay in this range for a little while. Let's see. If it closes below the wedge, I'll cut my calls. No arm, no fall. They won't even lose too much value because it's for July, right? And we got Nokia. Why did I take $6 calls yesterday? Actually, Option Sniper called these out yesterday. $6 calls for August. I looked into it, and the price is a little bit low. I mean, 20 cents for calls that are only like 30 cents or 40 cents out of the money. It's not a big deal for me. 577 and 596 are your two resistances for Nokia. Again, these are August calls. Please do not ask me about it every single day. Please. You guys drive me nuts. But yeah, so we're watching SPY here, right? So scenarios into tomorrow. Possible scenarios into tomorrow. Let's go to a weekly chart right here. Just know that the Fed runs everything right now. Anything is possible. If he says something super bearish about tapering or anything like that, we could absolutely dump. We haven't gone through weekly consolidation on SPY in a long time. If he says something bad tomorrow, the weekly higher low is at $404. That's 20 points down from now. So you guys know how long it took for 20 points up. 20 points down can come in a flash. It can come by Friday. So this is the main level, 404 on the weekly. If you go on the daily on SPY and he says something wrong, the first resistance that you have to watch is this daily higher low, which is 416.28. So 8 points down, and then the next level is 404. So those are the down levels. If he talks about tapering tomorrow, SPY could dump to those levels. Just pay attention. Make sure you guys have enough cash going into it, because you could get some legendary buying opportunities off it. I don't think anything. No, he didn't mention tapering. Personally, I think J Powell is too smart to dump the markets here. But anything is possible. Inflation is running rampant. A lot of people are talking shit about him. He might mention it, which could temporarily dump the market, but I don't think he'll do anything to hurt this market right now. If you look into history, Jay Powell and Janet Yellen, the guys that are at the Fed right now, they are the most bullish people you can have in charge of the stock market. Janet Yellen was in charge back in 2008, 2009 when she started doing quantitative easing. And she brought that depression straight back. So just keep an eye out for tomorrow. Don't get too heavy into any positions. If you are heavily invested right now, I highly suggest cutting at least half positions, or like, you don't have to cut your whole position, but you can cut half your position. Just free up some cash. Get ready for tomorrow. And be on the lookout. I might take some hedges tomorrow, just in case. And good luck. I'll see you guys tomorrow.